Morning to all of you. Is my voice is audible? Is I audible?
Yes, sir.
Finish the second part first. Okay, you can scan this QR code for the attendance. So I will wait for a minute. I think most of you are joined. So let's start the session. Yeah. Is the screen is visible? Is my screen is visible to all of you? So if you remember in the previous class, we have discussing about cooperative process, okay, or we can say parallel process, parallel executing. Okay, basically we have discussed the process can be of two types. One can be of independent type, and second one is cooperative type. The cooperative process are dependent process. That means the execution of one process will affect the execution of another process. Then we can say these two processes are cooperative. But to perform the task, they need to communicate. Then we are having the different types of IPC mechanism, inter-process communication mechanism. Okay, so as we already seen, what are different methods? Now this is the different method that we are having. Okay, this is different IPC mechanism that we are having in case of cooperative process. So what are the different mechanism? One, first of all, it is we can use the message passing technique. Okay, either you can use the naming or synchronization, buffer, hardware solution, and file. So these are the some inter-process communication techniques that we are having for the process to communicate. Okay, so we will study in details about these things. So before that, we have to understand what you mean by process synchronization. So we have discussed one example for the producer-consumer problem. Okay, so where we have seen this is one of the most important problem for multi-process synchronization problem. Okay, or we can say multiple process synchronization problem, where the output of one process will be affecting the output of another process. Okay, so still now we have discussed. Now today we will discuss about what you understand by the race condition. So the general definition of the race condition is when several processes accessing and manipulating the same data concurrently, and the outcome or the result of the execution depend upon a particular order in which their access takes place, is called race condition. So what do you mean the race condition? So let me explain. So what the race condition is saying, suppose this is my state data. Okay, this is my state data. If this state data is executed, okay, now suppose there is a process P1, one more process P2, one more process P3, and one more process P4. Okay, 4 processes are there. Okay, now if these 4 processes are accessing and manipulating this data, suppose the data is X. Okay, now suppose P1 is also accessing this data, P2 is also accessing this data, P3 is also accessing this data, and P4 is also accessing this data. So whenever this 4 process accessing and manipulating the data concurrently means parallelly. Okay, if they are accessing independently, then there will be no race condition. Fine. If they are accessing independently, okay, one by one, then there will be no race condition. If these processes are accessing this data concurrently, then what will happen? The outcome of the, or we can say the result, the final output or the final result will depend upon in which order the process are accessing this data. Okay, and thus this is called a race condition. Is it clear to all of you? What is race condition? If some shared data is accessed concurrently, okay, if some shared data accessed concurrently by several processes and its result, okay, its outcome, what is some outcome? Now the outcome is depend upon how this process are executed or in which order they are executed. Okay, then we can say this is a race condition. Okay, so if there is a race condition, okay, if there is a race condition, we need to ensure that only one process at a time can manipulate the shared variable. That is, we have to ensure a process synchronization. Clear? This is very important point. If there is a race condition, what is the race condition? If several processes are trying to access a common data, okay, if several processes are trying to access a common data and they're manipulating the data, then if the final outcome is depend upon the order of their execution, then it is called the race condition. And if there is a race condition, is occurring, now you have to ensure that at any time, okay, any instant of time, one process only allowed to manipulate or access the data. And how it is possible? It is possible when we will ensure there is a synchronization between this different process. Is it clear to all of you what you understand by race condition? Yes. Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear to all of you what you understand by race condition? Yes. Is I audible? Okay, fine. Then move on. Now, next is your, if there is a race condition, then there will be a problem of critical section problem. Okay, or we can say the critical section problem. So what you understand by critical section problem? So let us consider a system of n process. Now suppose I'm saying there is a system which is having the n number of process from P0, P1, P2, like the Pn minus 1. Okay. Now each process has a critical segment of a code. Now what is the critical segment of the code? The process, we can say the critical segment of the course may be, the process may be changing common variables, updating a table, or writing a file. Okay, so when one process in a critical section, no other is allowed to be in the critical section. Okay, so what actually they are saying? So suppose there is n number of process. Suppose P0, now P1, P2. Let me take 3 process. Okay, now if I'm saying this, they are having some code here. Okay, for P1 is executing some code. Now P2 is executing some code. Similarly, P3 is executing some code. Okay, now in this code, now suppose I say there is a critical section or common data. Now this part of code is common to all of these 3. Okay, if I'm saying this part of code, if it is common to these 3, okay, now this section of code, okay, this black section of the code is called your critical section. Okay, critical section. Why it is called critical section? Because this part of the code are shared by all the process. Okay, this part of the code or part of the segment is shared by all the process. Then it is called a critical section. Now, what can be the critical section possible? It can be a common variable, okay, or it can be updating a table or writing a file. So one thing we have to ensure that whenever one process is in a critical section, we have to ensure that no other process are allowed, okay, no other process are allowed to enter to a critical section. Now suppose for example, if I take example like main, okay. Now so there are certain number of codes. Now suppose there is a variable called like x equal to a plus b. Okay. Now then again there is some other code. Now assume that, now suppose I'm saying that this is my critical section. Critical section means now this part of the code is going to common for all the process. Now process P1 will going to access this variable value x. Now process P2 is also going to access the variable value x. Now process P3 is going to also access the value of the variable x. Now what is happening here? Now this common variable x are accessed by all this one. Now what will happen here? If all this process are going to access this one. Now this is a race condition, yes or no? Now the final value of the x will depend upon what? The order of the execution. Now there is a race condition. If there is a race condition, then there will be a critical section. Now this is my critical section. I can say this is my critical section. So in this example, what is the critical section? The variable x. Okay. So whenever there is a critical section problem, first of all, you have to ensure that there is a synchronization between the process. Second thing, you have to ensure that only one process at a time. Okay, this is a very important point. Only one process at a time are allowed to access the critical section. Or we can say we cannot allow all three processes at a time to access this one. Okay, so we have to ensure that, now I have to ensure that at any instant of time, only one of these process should have to access this variable X. Fine, and such problems, okay, now in that such problems are called critical section problems. And the critical section problem is to design a protocol that the process can be used to cooperate or concurrently execution. Okay, what is happening here? What is happening here? Basically, the critical section problem ensuring that each process can be executed or concurrently applied. Now, what we have to ensure that, so if it is a critical section problem, now let me take an example. So let me clear this thing. So what you have to ensure that, now you have to, these 3 points you have to remember. For any critical section problem, before entering to the critical section problem, a process must ask the permission to enter a critical section. So we cannot allow any process, okay, randomly to access. So before entering to the critical section, okay, the process must have a permission to access the critical section. Okay, and we may allow the critical section with the exit section. Every critical section will be, there will be an exit section. And then you can say entire program is reminder section. Okay. Now if it is like, suppose for this is an example, okay. Let us consider this example. Now we are starting the program here, do. Okay. Now there will be entry section. Okay. For every critical section problem, there will be entry section where we are going to ask the permission before, suppose the process P1. Okay, now suppose process P1 want to access this critical section. So before entering to the critical section, now this process P1 will going to ask the permission to the entry section. That will have a entry section. Okay, so before accessing the critical section, we will have an entry section. If the entry section is valid, then the process is allowed to access the critical section. Then we will have a second part, which is called the critical section. So immediately after the critical section, there should be the exit section also. Okay, entire code, whatever the problem you design, you have to design in this manner. Okay, so first of all, there will be entry section. Then access the critical section. Then finally, we will have the exit section. Exit section basically, once the process is completed, okay, complete executing the critical section. Okay, now you have to come out of it. When you will come out of it, it will have to exit from it. Then we will have the finally we will have a reminder section. Now this reminder section can be sent by any process because they are independent. Okay, this reminder section does not have any process like restriction. Okay, any process can be accessing this one at any time. So because there is no such variables which is creating the race condition. Fine. So whenever there will be race condition, okay, so then we have to understand that this is our critical section problem. If it is a critical section problem, then you have to ensure that only one process at a time can be used to enter the critical section. We cannot allow a multiple process, okay, multiple process to enter into the critical section. Fine. So this thing you have to remember. Okay. So if any problem is such type, then we have to ensure that only one process at a time can execute it. Fine. Is clear to all of you? Okay,
Yes, sir.
those who are joined late, I'm sharing the attendance again. You can scan this one for the attendance. Okay, so yes, so let us continue. So if we want to design a solution for this critical section problem, okay, तो हमेशा याद रखना जब तक कि हम लोग अगर वो क्रिटिकल सेक्शन प्रॉब्लम हुआ है देन अगर उसका हम सोल्यूशन डिजाइन करेंगे the solution must satisfy three conditions. Okay, whatever solution we propose, okay, or we going to derive for any critical section problem, the three conditions should be satisfied by the solution, whatever solution we have to provide, going to provide it. The first condition is your mutual exclusion. Okay, so what the mutual exclusion is saying, what the mutual exclusion is saying, mutual exclusion says only one process can access the critical section at any instant of time. Okay, now what the mutual exclusion is saying, so what if suppose I design a solution, okay, अगर हम लोग solution design करेंगे critical section problem का, then first thing you have to ensure that your solution must be ensured that it should satisfy the mutual exclusion. What do you understand by mutual exclusion? It should satisfy the mutual exclusion means only one process are allowed to access the critical section at any instant of time. That means I cannot allow more than one process. Okay, your solution cannot allow more than one process to access the critical section. Fine, this is called mutual exclusion. आपका जो solution होगा ये guaranteed होना चाहिए. This should be guaranteed. If your solution does not guarantee the mutual exclusion, okay, then we can say the solution is not a valid solution. Fine. Clear the first point. Your solution must be having the mutual exclusion. Mutual exclusion means only one process is allowed to access the critical section at any instant of time. Okay. Now, second thing is your progress. Okay. Okay. Now we can define the mutual exclusion in formal, informal way, and informal way you can say that only one process can be in the critical section at any time. And the formal way, if I can say, if the process Pi is executing the critical section, then no other process can be executed in the critical section. Suppose what is saying, now if this is my critical section, now suppose some process Pi or P1 is currently accessing this critical section, then I have to ensure that no other process, like suppose process P2 is requesting for the critical section, process P2 is suppose requesting for the critical section, then it should not be allowed. Okay, it should not be allowed. That means if one process is already in the critical section, then other process which is requesting for the critical section, they should wait until the process P1, okay, until the process P1 is completed executing the process, or we can say it's completely executed the critical section. Once it will be come out of the critical section, then only we will allow a second process to enter into the critical section. Fine, this is called mutual exclusion. Okay, this is called mutual exclusion. And if any process is in critical section, the other process should not be allowed. It should wait. Wait कब तक करना है? जब तक कि ये process P1 critical section से बाहर नहीं आ जाता है. Then second condition is your progress. Okay, what progress say? Now second condition, this should be guaranteed progress. That is, no process is forced to wait for an available resources. Now what happened here? Now come back again. Now suppose this is my critical section. Now suppose process P1 is currently executing the critical section. Now at the same time, if process P2 is requested for the critical section, okay. Now what will happen? This process P2 will go to the waiting state. This process P2 will go to the waiting state. Now what the progress is saying, now this process P2 should not be waiting for the resources for infinite amount of time. Okay, or we can say the waiting time of this process P2 should be finite. Okay, it should not be like P1 is only going to access every time. Okay, P1 is going to access every time. It will not be like that. Now, what happened? The P2 will never get the chance. Now, what will happen? Now, there will be a no progress. Now, we have to ensure that if someone is waiting for the critical section, okay, if someone is waiting for the critical section, then you have to ensure that our solution that we have proposed, that have to ensure that it should not be waiting for the infinite amount of time. Okay. Now, same thing we have written here. If no process, or we can say if no process is executing the critical section and there exists some process which is wished to enter the critical section, then only those processes that are not executing in their remainder section can participate in the decision of which will enter the critical section next. And the selection of the process that will enter the critical section next cannot be postponed indefinitely. Okay. Now what actually saying? Now this is the first point. If the process P2 should not be waiting for the long amount of time. Second thing you have to remember what the progress is saying. Now suppose, now take a condition, this is my critical case, okay, critical section. Now suppose P1 currently executing. Now suppose P2 and P3 are requesting for the critical section. And there is a process P4 which is not requesting for the critical section. Now what will happen? Now suppose after some time P1 will come out of this critical section. Okay, P1 will come out of this critical section. Now what will happen? Once the P1 is coming out of critical section, the critical section is now ideal. Okay, that means no one is using. Fine. Okay, now what will happen? Now P1, let me write, P1 is coming out of this one. So once it is coming out of this one, what is happening? No one is executing. Now what the progress is saying, now who is going to access the critical section? First of all, the process which are interested to access the critical section, they should be allowed. That means it's not like that if P1 is not interested to execute it, okay, suppose P1 is not interested to go inside the critical section. It should not be like that I will give a chance to P4 only. Okay. So chance kisko dena hai? You have to give the chances. The solution must ensure that you have to give the chances to those process which is interested, okay, which is interested in going inside the critical section. Fine. And how will decide which process is going to be inside the critical section? There will be a mutual understanding between these two, either this one or this two. Okay, any one of them can go inside the critical section, any one of them can go inside the critical section. Okay, but it should not be like the process which is not interested, they should not be given a chance to access the critical section. This is called progress. Okay, this is called progress. Now your solution must be guaranteed that. Okay, progress must be guaranteed in your solution. Whatever solution you propose, The solution should be guaranteed. This one, progress should be guaranteed. Okay. Now, okay. Now, third condition that must be satisfied here. Let me write it. Yeah. The third is your bounded weighting. Okay. The third condition is your bounded weighting. Now this is not a compulsory condition. Okay, but first two, that is mutual exclusion and the progress, that must be uh, the first two conditions should be satisfied. Okay, and this is the optional one. The solution may or may not contain. Okay, so what the bounded weighting is saying, no process can wait forever for a resource. Okay, or I can say a bound must be exist for number of times that other process are allowed to enter. Okay, the critical section after a process has made a request to enter its critical section and before that request is granted. That is what is saying the whatever process. Now, so again coming back to this example. Now this is my critical section. If some process, if I'm saying some process P2, okay, is given a request for the executing the critical section. Okay, now there should be, now what will happen if the critical section is not ideal? What will happen? Now this P2 have to wait. Okay, this P2 have to wait. Now what will happen? Now this bounded waiting is saying that now this waiting time for the P2, the waiting time for the P2 should be a limited one. Okay, a bounded wait. Fine. एक boundary wait होना चाहिए और waiting time आपका limit होना चाहिए. It means the process which is requested for the critical section. Okay, the process which is requesting for executing the critical section, it should not be like waiting for infinite amount of time. Okay, there should be some time bound for in between. Okay, in between the request for the critical section and before the request is granted. Okay, that means if I requested at time t0, okay, there should be some time limit after nth second. It must be allocated the critical section. Otherwise, what will happen now? This, if there is a no bounded waiting, okay, so there may be a case. There may be a case that may be happen, but for the problem here now, it may be chances of occurrence of deadlock. Okay, the chances of occurrence of deadlock. Fine. So these are the three conditions that should be satisfied. Okay. If there is a race condition, remember how we are derived. Now, if any problem, okay, any problem are having race condition. Okay, any problem are having race condition. So what do you understand by race condition? If several process, okay, process P1, P2, P3 are accessing some common resource, then its final output, what are the result is there? Okay, whatever the result you get, if it is depend upon the order of execution of this process, then this is called a race condition. If there is a race condition, what I have to ensure? I have to ensure the process synchronization. Okay, process synchronization. And process synchronization problem generally comes with critical section problem. Okay, critical section problem is a part of code where it is called a critical section. It is a part of program which is executed by several processes. If this is a critical section problem, now I have to design a solution. I have to design a solution. If I am designing a solution, now my solution should ensure these three things. First one is your mutual exclusion. Okay, that means if one process is executing the critical section, no other process are allowed to execute that critical section. Point number two, progress should be ensured. That means I have to allow those process which is interested to go inside the critical section. It should not be like I'm allowing the process which is not going to interest to go to the critical section. Find point number 3, bounded waiting. That means if one process is waiting for executing the critical section, the waiting time should be limited. Okay, the waiting time should be limited. It's not like that. It should be waiting for the what? Infinite amount of time. Okay, so this is something about what you understand by critical section problem. And if you are proposing a solution, then what should be your solution must contain. Okay, so with this I will end our class today. Then in the tomorrow class, I will discuss the solution, how we will design the solution for this one. So if any doubt, I will take from your side. If you are having any doubt in today's class, any doubt in today's lecture? Okay, if you are not having any doubt, so I will end the class here. Okay. Thank you for the participating.